All right, everybody. My name is Crystal, and I'm an addict. So I'd like to welcome everyone to my first convention workshop.
Yay.
Let's open this meeting with a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer. God, grant us serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I've asked someone to read who is an addict.
Hello everybody, I'm Chandrika. I'm an addict.
Hi, Chandrika.
Most of us do not have to think twice about this question. We know. Our whole life and thinking was centered in drugs in one form or another. The getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. We live to use and use to live. Very simply, an addict is a man or woman whose life is controlled by drugs. We are people in the grip of a continuing and progressive illness whose ends are always the same. Jails, institutions, and death.
Thank you. I've asked an addict to read what is the NA program.
What?
What you got?
To read what? Well,
I think it says the NA program. Will you read what you got? Okay, that'll work.
You want me to read?
Never mind.
You didn't give me everything to hand out.
I didn't see it.
Well, that name Lewis.
That's Lewis.
What's the Narcotics Anonymous program? It is a non-profit fellowship where society of men and women using drugs has become a major problem. We're recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There's only one requirement for membership: to desire to stop using. Boom! We suggest that you keep an open mind and give yourself a break. Our program is a set of principles so simply that we follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing about them is that they work. Damn! There are no strings attached to NA. We're not affiliated with any other organization. We have no initiation fees, dues, no pledge to sign, no promise to keep. To make to anyone. We're not connected with, I'm going blind now, any political, religious, or law enforcement group, and are under no surveillance at any time. Anyone can join us regardless of age, race, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack of religion. Not interested in what you have, how much you use, or who your connection was. Not now. But what you have done in the past, how much or how little you have, and on what you want to do about your problem, and how we can help. The newcomer is the most important person in the meeting, because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. We have learned from our group experience and those who keep coming to our meeting regularly. Stay clean.
Thanks, Lewis.
And that's true, I promise.
All right, it says that I'm to share a brief personal share.
Yes.
All right. So this is a workshop on our first convention. I can remember my first convention. I was only a few days clean. Oh, I'm an addict named Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
So, yeah, I was only a few days clean, and I'm going to say that first convention is something that really showed me the love of this program. And I learned a lot, and it was a good experience. So, at this time, I would like to introduce our first speaker, which is Jerry.
I'm Jared, I'm an addict.
Hey!
And it begins the journey.
Do it, boy, do it.
Well, this isn't my first convention. It's my first time speaking at one. So if I stutter or repeat the same thing over and over again, I'd like to preemptively apologize. But I'll try not to ramble. I'm grateful to be here. I see people in this room with me right now, and it gives me hope. Love you, Jerry.
Damn, Jerry.
Didn't even stay 5 seconds, man. But like I said, I see other people in this room with me right now, and it gives me hope. Like the other act just said, coming to my first convention, which was down in Tupelo, Mississippi last year at the Keys to Freedom. I had a
Come on, shit.
I had a sense of belonging that I had rarely, if ever, felt my entire life. Growing up, I was a social chameleon. I would be whatever you wanted me to be so long as I could fit in. It reminds me of, you ever seen American Psycho, when Patrick Bateman's sitting in the back of his car with his wife and he's listening to some music and she's like, why do you hang out with those people? You don't even like them anyways. And he's just like, because I want to fit in. And he puts his headphones back on. I was like, that's me right there, you know. Because no matter what friend group or circle that I was in 30 years before I got here, I still felt alone. Like, I didn't feel like the people I was with got me, you know. I didn't think that I was like them at all. Until, of course, I ran to the drug using group. I was definitely like them in that regard. Eventually, drugs were just the thing that, I guess, the popular thing going at the time with the current group I was in. And eventually, I didn't even need the group anymore. I just needed the dope. That's all I wanted. I got a couple of connections from a friend. I hardly even talk to him anymore because I had his dope man, you know, his dealers. And, you know, once I started, obviously I couldn't stop until luckily I ended up here and not in the grave. But when I'm around other recovering addicts, I actually do feel like I belong and that you people get me and I get you. There's that saying, you know, I don't know who you are, but I know who you are, you know. I truly feel like all of us have been to that spiritual place of complete bankruptcy and desperation. And that's where I think we're all the same, no matter where physically we ended up being before getting here. I didn't know where to turn other than just to ask for help. I was on all fours crawling on my apartment floor, gasping for fucking air before I just surrendered. I need to always remember that. And previously at like other birthday meetings of mine and stuff, like I would tell my story and I would tell it like that was the last time I used. It wasn't. I still used plenty of times between then and finally getting to rehab. But that's just the one, but that moment was the time when I first surrendered and I knew I needed help and I knew I couldn't help myself or I couldn't help myself on my own. You know, I wanted to help myself. I had that willingness in that moment. But even after getting a date set up to be sent to rehab and all that, it took about a month for me to get there. I still, you know, kept going. And I would tell my friends, oh, I relapsed after like a week clean. Like, no, I just took a break, you know, from my using. That's all I did because I wasn't even close to beginning working a program of recovery yet. But I don't know what else to say. I'm searching for stuff. All I can say is, you know, I love y'all and I love being here. The committee members and everything doing a great job putting this together. And I haven't been part of any committees yet putting conventions together. I assume it's a lot and a lot to deal with. It would require a level of patience from me that I don't think I've attained yet. But I'll maybe get there one day. But I think at this point I'd just be rambling and dragging it on. Just know that my story, I've been in a lot of different places and done a lot of different dope. But, you know, it all came to a point of just, like I said, like spiritual desperation. Like, I didn't have anything that I believed in. Nothing until I got in these rooms. Learned to, you know, have an understanding of a higher power, of something greater than me that could help me get better and change my way of life, to change everything about me. And I haven't gotten to change everything yet. I haven't gotten to that fucking point. But it's a program of progress and not perfection. And I'm just trying to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, because that's all I'm in control of. I'm powerless over everything else around me. All I can do is put one foot in front of the other. Just take action. I was going to say I'm only in control of my actions and my words, but sometimes the words just fucking come out. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm not even in control of that or like even the way I think sometimes. But where I go, the mind eventually follows. I don't always want to go to a meeting. I don't always want to be here, but I fucking stay here and I force myself to be around other addicts and people living this life, you know, because it's where I need to be. If I give two shits about my recovery, this is where places like this are where I'm gonna be, because it's my responsibility to myself. I care enough about myself today to do at least that, and that's a lot. That's a lot more that I could say even just a few years ago before I got clean. Yeah, we're getting to the rambling point of my soliloquy, but I love y'all. I'm glad to be here, and let's have a great convention. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yay!
Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, and this is Brandon M. from Bolivar, Tennessee.
I'm an addict named Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
You know.
Oh, that's supposed to stand up there? No, my first convention.
Well, I mean, I can sit down. I'm more comfortable standing up right here. Yeah, my name is Brandon, and I'm an addict.
Brandon.
And this was my first convention back in 2018. And I remember it because I was fresh out of jail. You know, I didn't know nobody. I just knew that somebody said, well, I got you a ride. You're going to go to Nashville to this convention. And I said, well, okay, you know. I mean, it's like countless other stories I've heard, you know. Somebody suggested this kind of, I got some of this new stuff out here. I want you to try it, you know. Come try it, you know. In recovery, I got this convention to go to. I want you to try it. So, you know, I was open-minded and willingness to go. I'm going to come out of literature. I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs that kind of, you know, because this was my first convention. And it says here, by the way, I want to thank the committee and everything for giving me an opportunity to come and, you know, speak at this convention. You know, it really means a lot. I was very humbled by it, you know. I just want to say, if y'all knew anybody, this is your first convention, get some numbers. Get some phone numbers. That was suggested to me, you know. And this basic text I got now is falling apart now because I've been reading it, but my life ain't. You know, and I got it at my first convention. With a pen, says here, there's some men around here, get some numbers, you know, gonna help you. So, if you're new here, get you a pen, get you a piece of paper, and get some numbers. All right. It says, Narcotics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who are learning to live without drugs. We are a nonprofit society and have no dues, fees of any kind. Each one of us has paid the price of membership. We have paid the right to recover with our pain. Our message of recovery is based on our experience. Before coming to the fellowship, we exhausted ourselves by trying to use successfully and wonder what was wrong with us. After coming to NA, we found ourselves among a very special group of people who had suffered like us and found recovery. In their experience, freely shared, we find hope for ourselves. If the program worked for them, it would work for me. You know, and I personalize that because, you know, when I come into my first convention, I seen people of all nationalities, of all races, of all sexual identities, everything. But, you know, it says in our literature, it says our common effort is recovery. Clean, we face the world together. And I seen that, and I noticed that. You know, it's so much different than the world that I had before, that I'd known. Where if you wasn't part with this clique, you couldn't hang out. Or if you wasn't part of this people, you couldn't hang out. But today, we are one. You know? And I really like that. You know, so I can't say enough about Narcotics Anonymous. You know, before I was living in straight hell and misery. Each day I woke up, you know, I just wanted to just lay there towards the end. Because it was that bad. But I kept convincing myself otherwise. I kept saying that, you know, maybe today's going to be different. Maybe I'll do something different with today. But that wasn't the case. Because I had to have that one more. before I could do anything. You know, when I come in NA, Narcotics Anonymous, you know, who taught me, who let me recognize my God and my understanding, who introduced me to Him. You know, I had a choice to choose who I wanted to be, my higher power, in here, and that's beautiful. And that's a beautiful thing. I wasn't forced. You know, only thing I was forced to do was coming into the rooms, you know, by outside issue, but you know, but I'm thankful today. I got gratitude for that. You know, Narcotics Anonymous has taught me how to live without drugs. Live without using. You know, that's all Narcotics Anonymous promises. To lose the desire to use. And that is beautiful. But within that, there are benefits of the program. I got benefits. You know, I think I'm a good dad today. You know, I'm a good man today. That in itself is huge. You know, I don't have to have joys of multiple people in my life, multiple women, or anything in my life to make me whole. I can be okay with myself. And that's what Narcotics Anonymous has given me. You know, my first convention. Woo! Let me tell y'all, that is the blessing of this. You know, if you're new in here, even if you've been here for a while, sometimes we lose that spiritual thing, you know, that spiritual gift that it is, you know. When you're new, you're all excited, or for me, you know, I was like, I walk around with a big old cowboy hat on, and, you know, I didn't know what was going. I was high-stepping, and, you know, just like I seen other people, you know. But, you know, you can lose that joy from you first, you know. You can get miserable. Today, I can't afford that. I can't afford to get miserable. I have to keep moving, you know, so I get excited. You know, I wasn't able to come up here this past week, you know. I kind of been working a lot, and I kind of wanted to go a little hunting and do a little hunting and stuff, so I did. And this morning I chaired a meeting, my home group, and then I come up here, you know. But this is my people. This is my family, you know. People I ain't afraid, I can go up and hug you and tell you I love you, and you don't look at me like I'm stupid, you know. I mean, I remember one day I was at work talking to some people, you know, and I was talking to this old man and everything. We was talking and stuff, and you know, when we leave, I was just give him a hug, you know. I mean, 'cause I'm used to that. That's what I do, you know. And he kind of looked at me like I was crazy, you know. I mean, probably would have gave me one, but my first convention, fellowship, you know, clean, we face the world together. That's powerful. You know, it takes all of us. You know, in the symbol, it talks about the broader the base, the higher the point of freedom. That's what this is. This is how you get to that. You can't get to that by going to the same little old meeting day after day after day after day and hearing the same old people. You can't get to that. You can't get to that freedom that you want. You know, freedom is how high you want to go. How high do you want to climb? I want to reach the top. I want more. You know what that is? Once too many, thousands never enough. Shoot, that's me. I want more of this. That's why I do what I can do. That's why I come to meetings. That's why I participate in this. You think I like getting up here and speaking? Hell no, I'm scared shitless. But I know I come up here and I do the work and let my God, my higher power, do the rest. That is how this program works. I do the footwork and let my God handle all the rest of it. Indifferent and tolerance is the killer in here. But today, I can walk around and have my head up high. I can look another human in the eyes and be okay. I don't have to look down at the ground because I thought I was a worthless piece of shit. Today, I'm Brandon. And I kind of like that. You know, so if this is your first convention, or if you're their 150th convention,
You old as hell, man.
woo! Let me tell you, it's back to the basics. What we've been taught when we first got in here, it still applies to our lives, no matter how long you've been clean. You know, it says at the end of the readings of the 12 traditions. Let's see if I can find it right quick. It says only through understanding and application that they work. You don't have to understand it when you first get here. But if you keep applying these principles, these suggestions, these different things, sooner or later you start to understand this thing and you start to love it. Because in the literature it says in time, we're able to relax and enjoy some recovery. So if you ain't relaxed, if you all white knuckling it, sitting there, don't know what to do or what to say or whatever, don't worry about it. Somebody's going to come up and give you a hug. Somebody's going to say, look, I love you. Come on, get some of this. It's awesome. And I love y'all. Have a good night.
I'm an addict named Crystal, and the floor is open if anybody would like to share on their first convention.
I'm Tracy. I'm an addict.
Come on.
I gotta come up.
Come up here, Tracy.
If Brandon does, you do.
Okay. Tracy, I'm an addict.
So y'all, my first convention was in Tupelo, and it was the year It was the year when COVID first broke out, right? And they made a special chair position just for me, sanitation chair they called me. Okay, and I walked around with Lysol. Me and my team of people that helped me, we walked around with Lysol and we sprayed everything down. We sprayed the door handles, we sprayed the bathrooms. We sprayed you. and y'all, that first convention, which I already had a fire lit under my ass because I was hanging out with Bart, right? And Bart's, he's lit up about recovery and always has been since I've been back in this program. But that convention lit a spiritual fire under me and got me busy in my steps more because I was listening to these other ladies and how they were loving each other and how they were talking about their sponsorship families and how they were talking about how they were working their steps. And so I got more into my step work, and that's what my first convention did for me. It also helped me feel a part of, because I had never been a part of something this large. This is large. It's all over America. It's all over the world. People are recovering with this program everywhere. And, and it taught me that because I listened to where they talked about the history of Narcotics Anonymous. Bart got me listening to that. And so I learned some stuff about that too. And I knew then that I was going to become a convention junkie. And because every time I go to a convention, I meet new people. And like Brandon was talking about, the broader the base, the higher the point of freedom. It was a lady named Tina that told me that the very first time, and I didn't understand that until my first convention. So I love this program. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for the committee that put this thing together too, because I know the work that goes involved in it. It's it can be hair raising. But thank y'all.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks,
Thanks, Scott.
Lord help us.
Don't listen to shit he said.
Hey, Scott.
I want to be like him when I grow up. My first convention. Y'all, my first convention is why I'm standing here today. I was going to AA for my first year. Man, Wouldn't set foot in the Narcotics Anonymous meeting. Wouldn't. I was an alcoholic and I was a drug addict. You weren't going to tell me I couldn't say that. Blah, blah, blah. Well, on a Thursday, I had 11 months and 29 days clean, ironically speaking. And it was on a Thursday. I graduated drug court that day. I got my driver's license back that day. I was sitting in that morning meeting looking at my driver's license, and that chairperson said, let's keep our discussion to our problems as they relate to alcohol. And I looked and I said, that's the last problem I had relating to alcohol, and I got up and left. I was going to do what I did. It's just weed, I wasn't going to do that now. I got a phone call before I got out of the parking lot, and it was this guy, buddy of mine, that said, look, I'm going to play putt-putt golf tonight with a bunch of NA people. You want to go? I said, no, not really. But I ain't got shit else to do. So. Anyway, I went and played putt-putt golf, and I met this girl that had about 7 years in NA. That was on a Thursday. The following day was the Unity Convention in Nashville. And so here I was. I was now a member of Narcotics Anonymous. So we went to the Unity Convention, and I've been to a bunch of conventions, maybe not 150, but I've been blessed to get to go to a lot of states and a lot of conventions, and I see Lewis at every damn one I go to, no matter where it is. But that convention, y'all, I remember there's a guy named Big Sexy out of Nashville that was the Friday night speaker. Rena C. out of Rhode Island was the Saturday night speaker. And man, it was just, they were loud and they were compassionate, and I was like, holy shit. And then they had to dance on Saturday night. And you know, this is all races, nationalities, sexual identity, creed, lack of religion, and all that stuff. But that dance on Saturday night at the Unity Convention, look, I had a year clean that day, and it looked like an MTV video. It was fun, and plus I had enough Red Bulls to kill somebody that weekend. That's where I was at. Yeah. But that convention, y'all, it was like it burnt. From that point on, every convention that's come around, if I could come up with the time to get off work and the money, I've been there, cause it was just like that first hit of dope. You know, it did something. You know, and it's, I don't know, this is where I get my fuel. I look forward to these things all year. You know, VRC, Tupelo is one of my favorites, Out of the Darkness, all of them. I mean, there's just, my favorite convention I ever been to, the only one I didn't see you at, was it was in Texarkana.
Yeah.
It was about 100 people there. And everybody, it was like intimate, like you was talking about, everybody there was together. It was the most awesome experience I've ever felt. But that Unity Convention in 2009, that's why I stayed. You know, something happened that night. That's why I stayed. You know, because that girl didn't work out. But she's still a friend of mine today. But she didn't work out. But anyway, y'all, conventions are what that convention is what sparked the fire that motivated me to keep going. And I love y'all. Glad to be here.
Yeah. I'm gonna add it named Lewis.
Come
on. Assholes.
And thanks to these two guys for sharing. I've had the honor of celebrating birthdays with both these kids. I call them kids because I'm an old motherfucker. But anyway, you know, my first convention, I'm going to start off by saying I was 30 days clean, and they had this Halloween party. So I come up with a costume. I was Captain Recovery. So I had this Captain Recovery. And then I was 90 days clean. I went to my first convention, the VRC in Memphis. And they told me, you need to put that costume on. So I put that some bitch on, and I'm running around the convention in the Captain Recovery costume. All these kids are chasing me. Have you seen Captain Recovery? And they're all running toward me. I'm like, God damn, you know. But anyway, you know, I had a good time. I mean, I had 90 days clean, and I didn't know what was going on. I was fucking wild, you know. But I learned a lot. Since then, I've been to 3 or 4 world conventions and conventions all over the country. The thing about that is I know people everywhere now, and my phone is full of people from all over the country. I can go anywhere and pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I'm fucked up. I need some help." I got somebody in that state or that city or somewhere, that's a big deal to me. I got people that love me all over the place. I used to go places nobody wanted to see me. It's like going to the grocery store, and just walking through the grocery store and people following you around, and you're like, "What the fuck you following me for?" You get to the door, just like, empty your pockets, crackhead. You go outside and there's a Uber out there with blue lights on it. Now I go through the store and just think, "Thank you, Mr. Jones, come back and see us." Sign right here. It's pretty good, but that's what this program's giving me, man. Integrity. I'm somebody today. I know I am. I look in the mirror and I go, "Hey, look at this motherfucker, him." But going to these conventions, it just energizes you. I'm getting ready to retire next year. Who thought a crackhead could fucking retire and have money in the bank? Who'd have thought that shit? Not me. But you think I'm not going to conventions now? I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna go to convention every fucking week. What do you think? That's bullshit. I like to think that, but I would love to be able to just go to conventions every week, but I can't, But today, I'm a father. I'm a good husband. Today I am. Maybe a couple of years ago I wasn't so good at being a good husband. I have done some dumb shit in this program since I've been clean, but I don't do that today. So I don't know. Like conventions, if this is your first convention, enjoy it and don't make it your last. Stay clean, live the fucking dream. But that's what I do every day. I wake up pretty good mood every day. I wake up, I got my 2 dogs there. My dogs are my life. I'm grateful today because I have dogs that they have to have medication. I'm able to take care of my animals today. I'm sharing this because this means something to me. I take care of my animals today. Used to, they fucking be out in the yard sick. They died. I was like, "Oh, whatever." I had a little puppy. I stepped on her foot. I had to take her to the vet. Cut her toenail off. He says, "I'm going to get you an estimate." I said, "No, I don't need no estimate. Fix my fucking dog." And I got another dog today. I love that boy. He's kind of retarded, but, he has seizures. I have to give him medicine twice a day. And that shit ain't cheap. But you know what? It's okay. I got a little baby girl. I found out that she had something wrong with her uterus and she's going to have surgery. So we was at this animal hospital and they was like, well, they'd come back with a $3,000 bill. And I was like, fuck, I can't do that. But I took her to my vet the next day and he come back and said $900 and we'll fix her up. I said, go ahead. Before I couldn't do that. No, these are my kids now. I take care of my babies. My grown boys, they got their own fucking insurance. But this program's given me the ability to actually give a shit about something and somebody else, when before it was all about me. So there you go. I probably didn't make a bit of sense, but you know what? I love all y'all, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm an addict. My name's Roger.
Hey, Roger. Hey, Raj.
Nah, I'm not going up to the podium. It's too much of a pain in the ass.
Podium over here. No, hold the phone, dummy. I'm trying. I'll do somebody.
Yeah, I'm an addict. My name is Roger.
Hey, Roger.
Hi, everybody. What I love about my first convention is I can remember it. I have to say my active using was a whole lot of blackouts. And I haven't had a blackout and drugs since I've been clean. But, my first convention, I went to a couple retreats. I remember I went to my first NA retreat. It was like 4 months clean. I went back to the halfway house and told the manager, this is what, hey, all right, Bart, grab her. Yeah, all right. A lot of times, if the doors are closed, she's a therapy dog, I'll let her run around the room and, do that kind of stuff. 11 weeks old, she's been coming to NA, man.
We love her as much as we love you.
Yeah. I'm like, I take care of my girl. Yeah. But nah, you know, I remember my first convention. I was 9 months clean, and I didn't plan on going. This dude, he's not in recovery no more. His name is Bob C. And he had like the most clean time where I got clean up in Oswego, New York, in upstate New York. And he goes, Roger, I can't go to this convention. I have a package for you. And Carolyn's going to give you a ride. And I'm like, cool. You know, yeah, I'll go. I have to check with my halfway house because I'm in New York and this convention was in Canada and I was mandated there, you know, and the court system said, yeah, he can go. And what was funny, there was a car behind us. We got to the Canadian border. And you don't tell them you're a felon if you're going into Canada, because it doesn't matter how many years you've been away from that felony, 10, 25 years, you're not, Canada don't want you. You're felony. These dudes in the back of us, you know, she told me, be cool, man. You know, we'll say we're married if we have to, whatever, you know, and, you know, we're going up to Toronto to have fun. And yeah, these guys said, oh yeah, all of us are felonies. Man, they pulled that car over, they searched it, pretty much searched them, and you know, they couldn't get in. But the thing, what was weird, when I got to Toronto, there's this big hotel, man, you know, and first of all, I was given this package, I didn't have no money at the time, man. My sponsor gave me 2 bags of food, you know, and a couple bucks, and this woman dropped me off at this hotel by myself, man. I'm like, what am I doing here, man? And what was cool, I used to ride, and these bikers pulled in, man. I'm like, cool, man. And, you know, I had the free registration to the room, all that was paid for the weekend. And I get up to my room and I open it up. And there's like 10 women in there that I knew from like Syracuse, New York or whatever. And I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Bob gave me the key, you know, the package for this room and all that. And oh yeah, we called him and he gave us the room number, so we got our key. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to be alone. And the woman I went with is on the other side of the town at another hotel. But, you know, at that convention, they put me under their wing, man. I met this dude, Desmond, man. You know, that he's from Pittsburgh, man. I love it that I remember, you know, and, but I was very uncomfortable there because I was alone. You know, I mean, you had to take, like, to go down to the convention, you had to, like, walk or get in a rickshaw. Canada has rickshaws. You can get in and get rides and, you know, and, come on over here. No, go ahead. Yeah. Go play with Lewis. Yeah.
Come here, baby.
But, you know, I remember when I walked, you know, there was like 20,000 people at this convention. I mean, it was packed. And I remember Saturday night when I walked in to the banquet and I found a table I was at, my name tag and all this stuff. And I had my hand, big, huge chairs, I had my hand on the back of it, just squeezing it. And I'm like, looking around, a whole lot of people, and this woman started relaxing me. I had no idea who she was, but she's saying, Roger, you're all right, you're gonna be good. And I looked back and I'm like, who are you, man? She knew who I was, because you know, I knew her husband, and God rest his soul, you know, he was a workaholic and died clean. You know, but yeah, her name was Elizabeth, and she just said, let go of that chair, you're not alone. You know, and it just, I was, you know, hugged into this fellowship. And I go to conventions, man. I know a lot of people here because I meet them at conventions, man, you know. You know, I have friends I haven't met yet, you know, and I love that. You know, I remember when I moved to Tennessee back in 2010, you know, you know, you can get online now, man. I remember, man, you know, you had to go through a meeting list, man, you know, because that convention was September 5th of 1992. And, you know, you people told me, keep coming back, it gets better, and that's what I do. And I'd say if this is your first convention, keep coming back, just keep coming back and get numbers, enjoy, talk, man. All into here. I met a dude 7 years ago, out of the darkness, into the light. And he had this bag of jerky, man. I kept rolling by him, man. So I got to stop and talk to this freaking guy, man. I just told him, I want your jerky. I don't want to talk to you, man. You know what I mean? And I go hunting with him out in Cleveland, Tennessee. And, I open my home group every Thursday night. And for 6 years, I go early and stay late. I open my home group at 6:30. And after I get it set up, I call him every Thursday night. And I've been doing that for 6 years. And the only time I see him is out of the darkness into the light, or if I go hunting and once a year. But I learned at an early age that pick up that 500-pound. Back then we didn't have cell phones, man, and they used to pass meeting lists around the room, man. We're cool. Not everybody. Oh, give me what's your name, And with that, man, and I have a beautiful relationship. I'm going next week, gonna go share his anniversary. He called me up and said, hey, you want to come share my anniversary? And I'm like, cool, and he's going to share mine, Yep. All right, just thank y'all.
Bart, I'm an addict. Hey, Bart. Remember my first convention very well. I had 82 days clean. My sponsor come by the house and says, get in, bring a change of clothes. And I thought, well, where in the hell are we going this time? Because he'd come pick me up and carry me to a meeting every day because I didn't have any driver's license. I didn't have a car that would run. And I needed somebody with me everywhere I went because I was scared to death that I was going to put some more dope in. So we rolled up to the Out of the Darkness convention, and there's about 400 people there. And he handed me a little notebook pad and a pencil, and he said, next time I see you, I want 20 names on there and their phone numbers of people with 20 or more years. What the hell? I'm scared to talk to anybody. So luckily I found a table there that had Adolph and Jerry that spoke last night, him, and there was several more people sitting there. And I was standing there with that pen and paper, and I was scratching my head wondering, how am I supposed to do this? And Adolph looked over at me and said, hey, your sponsor sent you after some numbers, huh? Come sit with us, you're at the right table. And I learned just by that one experience to hang around with some people that's got some time. They didn't get that time not listening and taking direction and working some steps and communicating with everybody in the fellowship. So I learned on my first convention that in order for me to stay clean, I need to build a real wide network, because there's no telling where I'm going to be when that little fella on my shoulder says, I'll go on and get one, ain't nobody going to know, you're way the hell over here. So I keep those numbers, and I use them damn things. And that's the hardest part, is picking up that phone and calling somebody that you feel so inferior to because they've got all these years of clean time, and talk to them. But I found out that those people are just like me. They trying to struggle through the day, face life on life's terms, deal with problems as it comes at them, and don't put no dope in just for the day. Not for a bunch of years, just for the day. So I keep coming, and I go to every convention that I can go to. That's where I get charged back up. A lot of times just going to the same regular meetings that we go to, I hear the same stuff from the same people, but I can come to a convention and I get to hear new people's stories, and a lot of times they'll say the same damn thing that I've heard thousands and thousands of times, but it sticks. I don't know why, But every convention I've ever been to, I walk out of workshops and speaker meetings and everything with a new tool to put in my toolbox. And I need tools. So if anybody's got any tools they want to give away, bring them this way. That's all I got.
Anybody else like to share?
Kiss my ass. That's Crazy Horse and Addict. The program is talking about, and it has. What's from my sponsor guide program. You guys today, I'm gonna be straight today. You guys help me. I've been in the jail before. I was in time pen before back in '83. And I was a mean motherfucker. I hurt your ass. Who the fuck it was? I was a mean person towards people back then. And you guys changed me. My life, you have. I don't go back like I was before. You know, fucked up, messed up. You know, lost times in my life because of the drugs I have. Well, it will help you. It has me. Because people think it's a joke about going back out again, fucked up. It's not a joke. It's my life today. You guys help me. I get so mad sometimes at people today and out there, family members I got today. You understand about drugs, we don't. You guys do. You guys really do. I'm glad that I can come up here and talk what I've been through in my life. Helping people, I do that today. I'm glad I help people today, you know, because you guys helped me in my life back then. And, you know, I'm glad I'm joking now. Today I can do it better than I used to. You guys help me. I'm glad that I'm in AA. You guys really do. I'm glad I'm clean so today. I'm proud of you guys. Me too. You got something like I'm glad to be here tonight.
Glad you're here.
This is my second one.
Hey, Robert. What are you doing, bud?
Hey, buddy. Hey, everybody, my name is Kevin. I'm a recovered addict.
Hey,
Kevin.
I got to get up here and share because if I don't, I feel like a coward, and I don't like feeling like a coward.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm from Illinois, Decatur, Illinois. As a matter of fact, it's the first time that I've experienced Tennessee NA recovery. So and I like what I see. We come up here with some friends from Hot Springs. I just recently moved to Hot Springs, but a couple months ago. But I like the topic. I think it's the first time I've ever seen this at a convention. So it's interesting. But my first, my clean date's 6/30/2015. So working on 7. Okay, my first convention, and conventions are, I'm a convention junkie. You know, I don't have a whole lot of time clean, but I've been to a lot of conventions. I have. I got hooked. You know, and my first one. I'm from Decatur, Illinois. It's about 3 hours south of Chicago. So we're in the cornfields. So my first one was Chicago. Anybody know about CRC in here? Chicago Regional. And it's a beast. It's a beast. The speaker meeting is in a huge room that you could park about 10 jumbo jets side by side in. Got about you just recovering addicts. It runs about 3,000, I think, somewhere in there, between 3,000 and 4,000 every year. I think they've done it now, like, what are they? I think they're in like their 37th or 38th year. It's a big convention, and that was my first one. That was in 2016. I had about 6 months clean. And they always do it in January. I don't know why. It's a horrible time to be in Chicago. But it's coming up in January. If you want to take the train up there, you can get up there. Right in downtown Chicago. It's at McCormick Place there. It's a massive expo center. And it's a good convention. But anyway, that was my first one. And I was going to go. It was kind of a neat story. But, on how we do things around here. I was going to go with some folks, and then it kind of fell through, and I was disappointed. And I called, some other people and kind of ran it by them. I was like, hey, I got the gas money, we was going to go, and now it all fell through. And, you want to go? I got the gas money if you want to go. And as it turns out, they said, yeah, sure, So that's what we did. 3 of us ran up there, and, and they got me up there. And anyway, it was a great convention. It obviously made an impression on me, because then I ended up going all over the place. But anyway, I got this shirt up there. I wear this shirt every convention I go to. So it's from the streets to the seats. And then on the back there it says, I don't know what it says exactly, but anyway, my home group, survival group, but back in Decatur. But I wear this shirt. It's just kind of a ritual now. Every convention I go to, I ended up going to World in 2018, down in Orlando, and then 2019 I ended up going out to Northern California. That was like 8,000 out there. It was out in Sacramento. So I've been all over. Then that was kind of a neat year, 2019, because I went out to the West Coast in April, and then in August I went out to New York City and caught the New York City Impossible Dream Convention, which was in downtown Times Square. So that was another really, really cool experience. But anyway, that's that. Thanks.
I'm Candace. This is my first.
Hey, Candace.
Hey, Candace. This is my first convention.
Yay.
I'm going to say that you guys have made me feel so welcome. I'm just glad to be here. Like, I'm glad to be sober. It's 67 days today. Yeah. It's a high of itself. Yeah. Wow. I've never been in front of y'all. You guys have really made me feel at home. I was in jail for 21 days for the first time. Jail ain't for me. I can wear any color, not orange. I was blessed to go to jail, though. I mean, whoever would have thought I would say I was blessed to go to jail. I was blessed to go to rehab. Blessed to go to AA meetings and to NA meetings where I actually felt welcomed, All of this has just been an enlightened journey for me. And sobriety is just an amazing part of my life now. So, thank you. Thank you guys, and I look forward to the rest of my life being so positive. So, yeah. 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 Would anyone else like to share?
Okay. So I'm an addict named Crystal. I do have a couple of meeting announcements. So as our 11th tradition states that our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion, we need to always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. The primary purpose of our public relations effort is to tell the story of Narcotics Anonymous and what our program offers to the still suffering addict. Members of the press are often attracted to our conventions, and we welcome their interest. However, we do not disclose our last names in the media as identifiable members of Narcotics Anonymous. If members of the press approach you, please direct them to a committee member or committee chair. If any members, statement to the media, if any members of the media are present, we ask you to contact a member of the program committee or visit the registration table. Please do not bring outside foods into the convention area.
Boo!
It's okay, Chris.
Masks are recommended in all public areas and in the meet and workshop rooms. Masks are available at the hospitality and registration. All right, we'd like to give thanks to our speakers one more time.
Yeah.
we've asked an addict to read, we do recovery.
I'm an addict named Gwen.
Hey, Gwen.
We recover. When at the end of the road we find that we can no longer function as human beings, either with or without drugs, we all face the same dilemma.
What is there left to do?
What is there left to do? There seems to be this alternative. Either go on to the best we can to the bitter end, jail, institutions, or death, or find a new way to live. In years gone by, very few addicts ever had this last choice. Those who are addicted today are more fortunate. For the first time in man's entire history, a simple way has been proven itself in the lives of many addicts. It's available to us all. This is a simple, spiritual, not religious program known as the Bible.
Thanks, Gwen. All right, we're going to close the meeting with a third step prayer.
Thank you, Bristol, for chairing the meeting.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Chris.
And for Crystal.